Hello, Facebook community. Hello, YouTube. And hello, Instagram. Please let me know when you're on here live so that I know that I'm actually streaming. And listen, I wanted to do this on both. So I'm kind of set up in a funky way. I'm looking at two cameras, but I wanted to make this useful for everyone. Those of you who are on Instagram, those of you who prefer to be on Facebook or YouTube. So this training is essentially to help you when you're struggling with feeling like you're suffering, struggling with negative thoughts and beliefs, just feeling really down. So I'm going to go over something called the focus wheel. I'll be here for about 30 to 45 minutes. And if you are here live, I will encourage you to get involved, and I'll actually be doing live coaching to help you with whatever's going on with you. And just know it's probably something everybody is dealing with. So you're not unique in that way. Our brains are wired the same. Our brains are wired to find things that are wrong, to tell us we're in danger, to tell us how things are not working out for us, and to kind of put us in this victim mentality of how things are just so bad. Okay. So if you've been experiencing that in the past week or so, I have too. I've been going through some things. So I've been using this on myself. I've been using it with my clients. And just know this may not be encouraging to you, but I think it's helpful. You're never done. Like you're never to a place where you don't have any more negative thoughts. Okay. So hopefully that is something that you know and understand, that even though you're doing personal development, even though you're doing mindset work, we still have emotions, we still have circumstances, we still have layers of growth and of healing that will be revealed, usually through relationships or circumstances with finances or circumstances with health. Those are like the three big ones. So I'll introduce myself first. My name is Cami. I'm an intuitive life coach, and I'm super practical and scientific. I come from a scientific background, so I'll give you structures, formats, and tools to use. And I'm also woo or intuitive. I believe in spirituality, a spiritual connection. I believe that we have the answers inside of us. And oftentimes we're seeking external validation, or we're seeking for someone to give us the answer when you actually have the answer inside of you. And what working with a coach does is it reveals your own intuition, your own inner knowing, and your own clarity on what you desire. And through coaching, we break down all of these mindset blocks, all of these limiting beliefs that are holding you back from having the life that you desire. So that is essentially what I do in coaching. If you're finding a connection here and you want to reach out to me, just shoot me a DM and we can connect on a call to talk about what coaching could look like. But my intention here is to give you great value and something that you can use in your day-to-day life every single day. Okay, cool. I see Lucy is on here. She said, this is so true. Yeah, mindset work is never done. Just when you feel like you've arrived, something else is going to come for you, so that you can up level, so that you can grow, so that you can dig into another layer of healing or into another layer of triggers that you didn't know about. And that's okay. It's all good. It doesn't feel good a lot of the times, but one of my beliefs is everything is happening for me. I am fully supported. God is in control. I know that this is for my highest good. These are some of the beliefs that I practice over and over again. Yay, Tristina, hello. Good to see you. Okay, so if you are here, I would advise you to grab a notebook, or if you're watching the replay, go ahead and grab a notebook. I'll give you a couple minutes to grab that, run off, grab that, because this is going to be a tool that we use, and we're going to be writing it down. So if you also have something, I'll let you a moment to get that. And I'm going to give you a resource. So this thing is called the focus wheel, and I didn't create it, so I will not take credit for it, but I understand it and I've been using it. So I want to give you the source on where you can learn more about this and kind of listen to the audiobook. And it is from a book called The Art of Allowing by Abraham Hicks. So that is where I would suggest you go on Audible and download part 1 and part 2 and really to really dive into this more. But I wanted to give you something quick and dirty that you can use today. And we're going to start with your emotions. I know I've talked about this many times, but those of you who are new to me, or maybe you're just new to the emotional vibrations, just know this. There is a scale of emotions. Down at the very bottom of the scale of emotions are things like doubt, fear, insecurity, unworthiness, helplessness, hopelessness, right? And then you kind of move up the scale into anger, pessimism, and then you move into blame, right? So I want you to see that each of these emotions, although we would still call them low vibe or negative, is actually moving you up the scale. So even if you get from anger to blame, those are actually good to start moving you forward. Okay. So I don't want you to judge where you are. I just want you to see, you know what? I have the ability to shift my thoughts. And when I do that, it will shift my emotions. When I shift my emotions, I'm now opening myself up for a solution, for a new perspective, for maybe stepping out of victim mentality and stepping into this is happening for me. And I can see that. And here's some ways that can bring relief to me. So we're working up the scale. Okay. So now we're at blame. Now we're at anger. Then we step into courage. And I would say most of you, if you're watching this right now, you're already into courage. You're already stepping into willingness because you're saying, and this is the transformational vibration, this is the transformational emotion, which is I'm willing to move forward into the discomfort in order for me to have the life that I desire. I'm willing, I'm courageous, I feel afraid, I feel fearful. I don't want to look at these emotions. I'd rather ignore them, avoid them. But if you're here and you're continuing to watch, then that means you're stepping into willingness and into courage. That is the transformational vibration. From there, we start to move into hopefulness, optimism, joy, abundance, bliss, right? At the very top of the scale is enlightenment and love, okay? So I just want you to notice as we move up the scale, you're going to find more freedom. Somebody's ringing my doorbell, so give me a moment. Hi, Zakia. Greetings from Germany. Hello, welcome. I think you're joining me from Facebook. I'm going to close my door so my dogs are not too loud. Okay, this is perfect. So everything is a circumstance, right? Yeah, Zakia says excited. Great, I love it. So here's what we're going to dive into. I want you to think of something specifically that you might be dealing with this week, last month, this year, that is a thought or a circumstance that causes you pain. Okay, I say hello, Valerie, just joined. Hello on Instagram, Valerie. She says, yes, but I am from Fayetteville. Interesting. I love it, Zakia. So you are in Germany. You must be stationed there, probably military. Hey, Monica. Okay, awesome. Cool. So now that a bunch of you are joining, here's what I'd like for you to type in the chat. And I will get to this on like example 2 or example 3. I have an example that I'm going to start with because I was just in a Facebook group giving somebody coaching on this today. But I want you to think of something that's coming up for you recently, whether it's relational, financial, job related, health related, anything that's been coming up for you. I want you to type it in the chat just as a circumstance, like, hey, this is what's been going on. It's been making me feel this way. So maybe I'm in between jobs and I'm feeling unstable. Maybe I'm not feeling as connected with my partner as I did before, right? You can just state the circumstance and type it in the chat. And once I see those, I will use those on example 2 and example 3 so that you can get some personalized coaching. And just know that by you putting your example in here, you're also going to help others in terms of learning how to use this process as well. Valerie says, my dog does the same. Yeah, the doorbell just rang, so I know I just got a package, which I'm grateful for. And I've learned that my dogs are gonna bark, so that's okay, I can accept it. Zakia says, approaching retirement. Ooh, that's fun, love it. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Now that you guys have your notebooks probably, I want you to draw a circle right in the middle, okay? A circle right in the middle. And then out from the circle, you're going to draw lines just like you would with a clock, right? So starting at 12 o'clock the whole way around. So this is what it's going to look like. One, two, one. There we go. I don't know why that just got so hard for me. Forgot how a clock looks. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It kind of looks like a big sun, and you have 12 lines all around. Okay? So here's what the main point of this focus wheel is. It is to move you up the vibrational scale of emotions, right? If you're feeling in victim mode, if you're feeling blame, if you're feeling angry, if you're suffering, and just to move it up. And I like to just like tend towards neutrality. Like if I can just get to a place of neutrality, cool. We don't need to get to gratitude. We don't need to get to love. Like I know a lot of personal development books will say, just be grateful. Just focus on abundance. But when you're not feeling abundant, it's really hard to focus on abundance. And your brain starts to tell you, no, that's BS. I don't believe you. So we're just going to get to the real point of neutrality, of courage, of willingness, of I am okay. All right. That's what we're going to do. So I want you to put in the center of this wheel, right? I'm going to use an example so that you can understand what this is. So we have two things here. We have a desire, right? So if let's say you're struggling with your health, like the example that I'm going to use was weight related. There was this woman in this group and she was saying, you know, I dropped 45 pounds and now I've gained 30 pounds back, right? That's her current reality. So her belief around the current reality was these protein shakes she was drinking, they don't taste good anymore and now I don't want to drink them, right? That's kind of her thought belief around the weight. But this belief and this contrast and this fighting against was going directly against her desire. And her desire was, I sure would like to be back down to my previous weight, the weight where I was 45 pounds less than I am. Okay. So I want you to see her current reality is I'm struggling with this weight loss thing because the shakes that I was using before, I don't really like them anymore. I'm kind of getting bored with them. I don't think they taste good. And she's kind of caught up in the drama, right? So we're going to use her example. But her desire is, I sure would like to weigh X amount. I don't know her weight. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to write the desire in the very center. I sure would like to weigh X amount. I'm just going to say 150 just for that sake. I sure would like to weigh 150. Okay. 150 pounds, wherever you're tuning in from, kilos, it doesn't matter. Irrelevant. But we're starting here with what her desire is. Okay. Now we're going to start at the very top at the 12 o'clock. And we're going to start to write in something that shifts a thought that feels a little bit better. So I want you to play along with me on this. Her thought, I don't like these shakes. They don't taste good to me anymore. How do you think that makes her feel? And you can type it in the chat here. There is a delay, so I'm just going to keep talking until you guys type it in. I don't like these shakes. They don't taste good to me anymore. I just don't feel like it's working. The feeling that that's bringing up for her is discouragement, frustration, right? So that doesn't feel good. She's discouraged. She's frustrating. That's not moving her up the vibrational scale of emotions. So I'm helping her, as I was coaching her, I was helping her come up with thoughts that would make it feel better. Here's a thought that is true and that's going to shift her. These shakes worked for me before. Okay, so I'm just going to write that at the very top. They worked before. Okay, how does that make me feel? Hopeful, a little more hopeful, a little more positive. Another thing, I really like this community, right? Because she was posting in a Facebook community. Okay, I like this community. It's great. How about, I know I can drop 45 pounds because she did it before. Okay, I know I can. That's a better feeling thought, right? I know I can do this. And I'm just going around the wheel, right? Clockwise. I know I can do this. How about, I feel great when I'm 150, whatever, when I'm X weight. I don't want you to get distracted by the number. Don't identify with the number, okay? I feel great when I'm at this weight or I wear this size pant, okay? I'm committed to this because it is, right? She lost 25 pounds, so she's like, I'm committed to this. I believe there's a solution, okay? I believe there's a solution. I mean, maybe I can add something to these shakes, right? Maybe. Let me just be open to that. Maybe I can add something. Okay, that feels a little bit better. Yeah, Zakia says like giving up. Yes, you're right. All right, what else could feel really good for her? Let's look for some evidence. I'm not going to go through all 12 of these, but this is kind of how this starts to flow. And as you start to feel better and better, you start to add to these feelings, and then you kind of start to create momentum around the block. So maybe I could make the shakes taste better. Yeah. Okay. I know someone else has experienced this, right? That way she's not alone. It starts to be like, okay, somebody else has experienced this and overcome this. Cool. I can get creative with flavors, right? We don't want to, right? Because she might be in boredom, right? Too, thinking that these shakes don't taste good. She might be in boredom about it. So I could create new flavors. Okay, good. Zakia's writing mine. Perfect. You guys can follow along with me with your own thing, or you can follow along with this one on the weight one. I know I'll eventually find a solution. That feels good. Maybe she can say, I believe this system works. I'm just going to keep experimenting. Okay. So I want you to notice, I'm just wanting to keep experimenting. That puts her in inspiration. That puts her in motivation. Whereas before she was in frustration, she was in defeat. Okay. Are you guys with me? Is this making sense to you? All right. I have one example here in the chat. So I'm going to use, this one is uncertainty around moving where I'll live. Okay. So I'm going to use that one next. And I do have time for one more. So if anybody else wants to get some personalized coaching on this, an example, type it in the chat and I'll do that as the third example. Okay, cool. Lucy says yes. Zakia says yes. Okay, you guys are getting this. Perfect. And remember, what we're not doing is trying to lie to ourselves. So I'm not saying these shakes taste wonderful and I love them, because that's a lie. Your brain isn't going to believe it, right? So we want to just shift a little bit for what's true and find evidence. Okay, so we're going to use uncertainty around moving where I'll live. So let's start with the desire for this one. And you guys can use this really for anything. So maybe you're looking for a job, maybe you're looking for a partner, maybe you want your business to grow, and you're seeking something, right? You're seeking for something to happen and you're uncertain when it's going to happen. Okay, cool. Valerie says this makes sense. Good. Valerie says I'm feeling courageous. Definite mind shift. I love it. Good. Okay, I'll use this one. I'll use this one for the third one, stepping into financial independence and being supportive. Okay, but we're going to go back to the moving one. So the desire for the moving one is, I desire to live in a comfortable, beautiful place next month. Okay, let's just say that. I desire to live in a comfortable, like safe and beautiful place next month. Okay. So that's the desire. Then we're going to put our spokes out to the side and we're going to start with what we've got. Okay. And usually what I do, if I'm having a hard time getting going on that first spoke, over off to the side, I'll just write my thoughts that I'm currently thinking, which is like, it's never going to happen. I can't afford it. Right. These are just the things that come up. I looked at places and they're all junky, like these are just the thoughts that come up automatically, right? So you can just jot them out to the side just to get them out of the way and be like, okay, I hear you, I got it, but I'm going to shift to something that's better feeling. So you can say, I've always found a place to live. That feels good, right? Like I've been in this situation before and I've always found something. Okay. That feels a little bit better, right? Because if we're uncertain about where we're going to be living, the feeling is uncertainty. The feeling is unsafe. The feeling is probably anxious. So what does this feel? I've always found a place to live. Hopeful, right? We're moving up the scale. Now I'm feeling hopeful. Oh, cool. Zakia says moving is one of mine too. So we can use this for you too, Zakia. I've always found a place to live. I know there are tons of options near me. Okay. I know there are tons of options near me. That is true, right? Nobody actually lives in a town where there's zero options. So I know there are tons of options near me. Okay. How does that feel? Again, hopeful. Um, I Let me think here. What else would feel good from evidence? And you guys can go along with me here because sometimes it takes a while to get the brain focused on the positive when we first start rolling. I know that there are tons of options near me. I really like this city, this state. I really like living here. Okay. Living in wherever you live. I really like living here. I enjoy beautiful nature parks. Okay. So this is just you going like, okay, you know what? I'm thinking about moving. I'm thinking about finding a place. Here's what I enjoy. I really like living here. I really enjoy the nature that surrounds me here, right? So we're not diving into the finding of a house. We're just diving into things that feel better. And you're focused on, well, that feels good. I like that. I like the nature parks around here. Um, I have looked at a few places that felt pretty good. Okay. They felt pretty good already. So I've looked at a few places. They felt pretty good. All right. That fits feeling good. Like I'm fine. I'm moving forward, right? They felt pretty good. So I can tell I'm moving forward, right? Versus the opposite of that would be like, I have no prospects. I have no options. I have no way of getting options. All right. So probably something around money and finances is coming up here too, right? About finding a place and being able to afford it. Somehow I've always been able to stretch my money. Right. And I believe that this is true for everyone. If you're here with an iPhone, a cell phone, an iPod, an iPad, all the things, somehow you're making it work, right? Somehow you're creating resources. You can also go into, I know I'll always have a place to live. Okay. So maybe that's with friends, maybe that's with family. Like I know I always have a place to live, I'll always be taken care of. That feels better. I'm moving into security now. I'm moving out of uncertainty. I know I'm going to be okay. I know somebody will let me sleep on their couch if that's an option. I know I can move back in with my parents if that's an option, right? Oh, good. Awesome. Tristina says, I love that the ocean is always nearby. Ooh, that feels good. That feels expansive. All right, let's keep going. We have a couple more. Okay, so I know I'll always have a place to live. I really like having my own space. How about I'm willing to wait for the right place? Yeah. I'm looking forward to drinking coffee on my patio or balcony. It will be fun when my friends come over to my new place. Okay. And then maybe even say, this delay could be helping me save money. If you feel like there's a delay. Okay. So we've just completed all 12 of them. I want to see where we're at with this. Yes. Tristina says, I'm excited about making a space of my own, decorating it with things that feel great. Yes. Takia says, indeed. Good. So how are we feeling now? We just completed 12 of them around the uncertainty of moving. And here's how I would advise you to do this. If this is an ongoing issue, right? It's an ongoing circumstance that's causing suffering, pain, do this exercise every morning, focusing on the desire, not on the circumstance. When we focus on the circumstance, we just create more of the own reality. I don't have money. I don't have a place. I don't blah, blah, blah. Nobody loves me. Focus on the desire and then find better feeling thoughts that create an emotional upliftment towards the desire. Okay. Lucy said, let me see. Stepping into financial abundance and being supported. Lucy says, I meant feeling secure with it being on my own. Okay. Justina says, much better. Beautiful. And remember, this is just like a shower, right? You don't just take one shower and you're like, I'm clean forever. You have to wake up and do this every morning, especially if it's something that feels big to you. It feels pressing. It feels urgent. It feels unsecure, uncertain. It feels, oh my gosh, right? The bigger it is, the more you're going to have to focus on it first thing in the morning. That's a perfect time to do it. You can also do it again before you go to bed, anytime that you're feeling stressed about it. Okay. Space Kitten says, absolutely love this way to focus thoughts into a positive shift. Good. I'm glad you're loving this. All right. Here is the third one. So this is going to be my third and final one, and then we'll wrap up. I'm going to use the financial security one, right? And I think this can probably be useful for everyone as well, whether you run a business, whether you're in a career, whether you're saving for retirement, all of it's going to work. So let's start with our circle and put our spokes around the outside. And you'll notice when I do these, I usually do like 3 or 4 of them with different areas of my life. And by the time I get into the third or fourth one, I'm like on a roll. I'm like doing it. I'm learning how to come up with those better feeling emotions. Valerie says, I would like to organize my day with work and caring for my 10-month-old at home. Oh my goodness. Okay, Valerie, that is good. I will invite you. Come into my Facebook group, Powerful Potential, because I have another example I'm going to use, but we can work on your example inside my Facebook group. Okay, so let's do this last example, which is stepping into financial independence and being supported. Let's call this, I deeply desire to have financial independence. Okay, maybe that's what it sounds like. And I don't know if I want to use that. How about this? I like to make it a little bit lighter. It sure would be nice, okay? It sure would be nice to have financial security. And let's just say at the beginning and at the end of the month. Right? Because the contrast is, I don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to be always wondering where the next client or the next job is going to come from, right? That's like a sense of uncertainty and insecurity as it relates to finances. Or I don't want to be in this dead end job forever. So that's the contrast. So we want to go with the desire. It sure would be nice to have financial security. And you might even say, and be able to buy everything I need and want. Okay. So however this feels for you, whatever you want to put the extra thing on. All right. Let me check the comments. I'm missing some. Okay. Zakia. And I hope I'm saying your name right, Zakia. It seems right, but just let me know if you want to type it in phonetically. I'm going to make this part of my affirmations. Great. It's such a great process. Okay, Lucy says, I like the sound of that. Okay, so we're going to go with that. Sure would be nice to have financial security at the beginning and the end of the month, and just to be able to buy the things that I want and need. Okay, so we're going to go with this one. So let's kind of get the funk out, because the funk is like, I don't have enough, right? I don't have enough. I don't know where the next thing is coming from. My paychecks aren't enough. That's kind of what comes up initially. So let's just shift. Okay. I know successful people who've lost it all. Okay, let's use that. I know successful people or millionaires who have lost it all. What does that do? It kind of takes away this whole, oh my gosh, this is happening to me and it's only me and I'm the only person it's ever happened to, right? When you start to look for evidence that other people have gone through this, in fact, there's millionaires who have built and lost companies multiple times and they're doing great. That's cool. That gives me hope. That gives me evidence. So now I'm moving from this uncertainty, the instability into this feels better for me to know that, you know what? Other people have been here. Other people have been bankrupt. Other people have been in my situation and they've made it out. Yes, 17-second rule for Abraham Hicks. Yes, that is correct. That's what we're doing. And I did give that in the beginning of the book. So if you guys are just joining later here, the book that I'm recommending is The Art of Allowing by Abraham Hicks. That is what this breakdown is of. Okay. All right. So we started with, I know successful people who have lost it all and got it back. Okay. How about, I've never actually been on the streets. And this may or may not be true for all of you. I've worked with people and known people who've lived in their cars. So this may or may not be true for you, but maybe you can say something like, I've never, at least I've always had a car, or I have been in dire situations before and I've made my way out of it, right? So I've never actually been on the streets. That might be something that's useful. Or you may change it to something like, well, I had a really crappy apartment one time, or there was a period of time where I was sleeping on people's couches and I was still able to make it back from that. Okay, cool. So I'm feeling better that I was able to make it out of that situation. All right. Let's say that you have an offering in your business or you have a skill. Let's start talking about you and your ability to create financial independence. Let's talk about your ability to create income. So you can say something like, well, I am pretty smart, right? And maybe you reference your degree. Like, I am pretty smart. I do have a degree. Or I am pretty good with talking to people. People like me, right? So this is something, the next one will be people like me. People like me and like doing business with me. Okay. My skills are valuable and I can make money from my skills. Okay. How's that feel? Makes you feel like you're not alone. It makes you feel like you are stepping into this state of power, that I have everything I need inside of me. And people want to pay me for it, or people want to hire me or consult with me. Okay, what else? There are a lot of people who need/desire what I offer. Okay, so maybe you are an employee and you are a receptionist. There are a bunch of people who need quality receptionists or who need great people who are great at customer service. Or if you're a business owner, there are a lot of people. There are 8 billion people in the world. A lot of them need a website design. A lot of them need a coach or a consultant to help them get their goals, right? So starting to step into the potential and the possibility instead of looking at how it's not working, it's not coming, there's no one liking my stuff, all of that. Okay, good. Pronunciation is perfect. Okay, good, Zakia. All of the above, yes. Good. And this is going to be for everyone. Most people have just generational limiting beliefs around money. So this is everybody's work, including mine, right? And new level, new devil, when you step into your own business, when you start taking a risk, when you start doing any of these things, you're going to come up against a lot of these money beliefs. And even, yes, this is a great one, Zakia. I have value beyond my 9 to 5. That's beautiful because it gives you this potential of, ooh, not just my 9 to 5, but I have the ability to create a side hustle, another income, be a dog walker, whatever it is, right? Instagram's letting me know I've been on here for an hour and a half. Okay. I'm going to put that one in. I have value beyond my 9 to 5. Good. Okay. Another one, I've always been able to get what I need. Okay. And I want you to think of this. Like, do you have toilet paper? Do you have toothpaste? Do you have shampoo? Do you have clothing on your body? Do you have a transportation? I've always been actually able to get what I need. Cool. That feels good. So I'm already coming from a place of security. The lights are on. My internet connection is still up. I've always been able to get what I need. So now I'm feeling hopeful that now I'm just going to the next step where I get to have more than what I need. I'll actually get to have those things I desire too. You can say it would feel really great to have a new client, or let's just say make an extra 500 a month, right? Just start with that. Yes, Brianna says, just got here. I will watch the replay. Yes, Brianna, definitely watch the replay because we're kind of finishing up here. Lucy says, I sure do. Yes. Okay. We've got 3 more. So type in where you guys are at if you're following this along. Okay, good. Says, love this, Cami, on Instagram. Thank you. All right, what else? So if our desire is, I would sure like to have financial security at the beginning and end of the month. Security is just a word, and I can feel secure in any moment. Okay. And I want you to think about this. Security is just a word, and I can feel secure in any moment. That puts your feeling of security on yourself. The reason I'm telling you this is because I've been fired from jobs 3 times. And usually, jobs people think are secure when they're actually not, right? Because you can actually be fired or laid off or all of the things. So, security is just a feeling. And people usually choose to believe if I'm in a 9 to 5, I'm secure. If I'm an entrepreneur, I'm not secure. But you can choose to believe whatever you want to believe in, whatever reality you're in, right? So I can create my own security. That actually feels good to me. The way I feel about money is going to bring me more money. Ooh, that feels good. I'm going to write that down. The way I feel about money is going to bring me more money, right? Because there are millionaires out there that think they don't have enough. They live in fear. They live in insecurity all day long. So therefore, their circumstance of having $1 million does not change the way they feel about money. So me learning to feel good about money now, when maybe it doesn't seem like it's enough and I'm stretching to pay those bills, I am learning a valuable life lesson on how to feel good even when. So let's write that. I have the ability to feel good even when. And then you can write dot, dot, dot. And then you can talk about, I really like my bed. I've been able to afford my bed. I really like my car. I've been able to afford my car. I really like my house. It's a beautiful house, right? So we just finished 12 on the focus wheel for the financial piece. Okay. Lucy says yes. So check in with me, guys. If you've been here since the beginning or if you've just joined, definitely if you just joined, go back and watch the replay. Let me know how you're feeling about this. I'm going to wrap this up with a couple call to actions. If you are not yet in my private Facebook group, go ahead and join because we can work on this together throughout the weeks. You can post your practice focus wheel in there. And I give free trainings in the group, usually weekly, if not more than that. So go to Powerful Potential on Facebook, join that group. If you're loving this and you're wanting support and you're like, hey, I want this in my life all the time, reach out to me. I do 6-month coaching, so you can have me at your disposal where we connect and meet once a week so that you're always raising that vibration and you're moving towards your goals. Reach out to me. We can connect about that. And I really deeply desire, I don't want anybody to leave a training like this just being like, that was great. I feel good. Actually implement it. Do it for the next 7 days. See how your vibration shift, see how your energy shifts, see how things start to look different and feel different for you. And just notice that you always have this tool. And no matter what, in any circumstance, you have the ability to choose how you want to feel. Tony Robbins says, suffering is a choice. And I'm not even lying to you. This just happened to me this weekend. I was going through something and I was being so dramatic. Listen, I'm human. I get dramatic and I'm like, and I'm so mad. And just, right. And I was going through all of the drama. And in my head, my brain was like, I'm suffering. This is horrible. Blah. I just want to not do this. And I was throwing a literal temper tantrum in my brain. And then Tony Robbins' voice popped in and it said, suffering is a choice. And I was like, dang it. Now I have to take responsibility, right? For the way I'm thinking, for the way I'm feeling, for the way I'm reacting. So, aside from being in an abusive situation, which I want to make sure that I'm being clear about, that's something that needs to change, actually change in the physical, not just your thoughts about it. But for the majority of the times, financial, emotional, health wise, career wise, we can change our results by changing the way that we feel. And this tool, when used consistently, is going to help raise your vibe. When you raise that vibe, you get into this area of willingness, you get into this area of hopefulness, and then divine downloads come in, and then things start happening for you, and you can recognize it. Because here's what's interesting. I'm going to use one more example before I close. Zakia says, feeling empowered. Lucy says, this was awesome. Thank you, Cami. You're welcome. I'm going to use one more example from my life because I want you to see that being a coach doesn't mean I'm perfect. In fact, it just means that I signed up on this planet to go through challenges and then teach from my challenges. Okay. So I was in jury duty a couple weeks ago, which was interesting, fine. It was it was an opportunity for me to do some mindset work. But what I didn't realize, and I was in jury duty for 2 days, I received this document in the mail from the court, and they gave me $32 for being in jury duty, which I didn't even know you got paid to be in jury duty. So I went through this moment where I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. And I just shoved the check off to the side. And then I was like, wait a minute. The universe is giving me money. In that moment, the universe gave me money. God, whoever, source, right, gave me money just for having a good attitude. That's what I believe. So I believe me showing up, being willing and able to do jury duty with a good attitude, being willing to serve, it's not like I earned it through my time, but I vibrationally attracted the $32. Now, here's the kicker. If I just pushed it off to the side, which I did initially, and I didn't celebrate it and I wasn't grateful for it, then I'm not going to receive more of it. So I took the time to put it in my little money app, to celebrate it, to say how cool that I just got $32. I wasn't expecting that. And then I essentially was telling the universe, great, I am available for more checks in the mail. I am available for this, right? So I want you to start noticing what is happening for you in every single moment. And as you start to do this work, you're going to notice more things happening for you. And as you notice more things happening for you, more things happen for you. Okay. And I'm saying this to say 2 days ago, I was in misery, right? I was in such emotional misery. And I didn't want to go live this week at all. I'm done doing lives. I literally was having such a tantrum. But because I went through all of this, I knew you guys are probably going through this too. The full moon was crazy. There's all this energy. So because I went through that, it prompted me to give you a training, which now I know is going to help you. So again, although it didn't feel like that was happening for me this weekend, it truly was happening for me so that I had something to train on this week. And so that I had the opportunity to go through all of the emotions and do all of this work that I teach so that I can embody it and teach it from an embodied place. So I'm telling you all that to say you are not alone. I am human. I go through the same emotions. And the thing that's probably different for me than for you is that I'm using it consistently. And I have accountability because I have a coach. I have multiple coaches in different modalities that hold me accountable. So if you're feeling like you need this accountability, this relationship, this is what coaching is, and this is what we can do together. And I get so choked up when I see people who go through the coaching process and they're just able to withstand anything. They're able to go through the fire. They're able to go through the flames. They're able to rise above. They're able to create new realities. So that's what we do together in coaching. So I want to invite you again, if it feels good to you, reach out to me, connect, and we can talk about what that looks like. All right, everyone, have a beautiful day, and I will connect with you soon. Bye.